Hi, this is Piero Giorgio, author of Survive the Economic Collapse. Today in beautiful Budapest, Hungary. As you can see behind me, the beautiful Buda castle and the many bridges on the Danube River. It's a very, very beautiful city. I've been here many times for business and leisure, and it's also very beautiful to visit, for example, at night. The many bridges and the castle are lit with lots of lights. And of course, it's a beautiful city with a beautiful country and countryside as well across the Danube flat area, but also the Tatra mountains. And it's a country actually I encourage you to visit. And I've actually worked here. I have lots of good friends, good memories, and I actually remember on that bridge behind me when it was lit. I remember this most romantic evening over 10 years ago, before I was married, with this beautiful, beautiful girl I met here in Budapest. And I remember this one of the most romantic kisses on the bridge in the night with all the lights. And then I think I ended up fucking her in the butt, like there was no tomorrow in the hotel. But anyway, good memories. Did I just say what I think I said? Doesn't matter. Anyway. I'm not here to talk about my past romantic life, but about Hungary and the economic collapse. Now, as you know, I write books about why the economy is going to be worse and worse, and why the convergence of many crises, the depletion of natural resources, the destruction of the environment, the overpopulation of the world, and of course the geopolitical tectonic shifts that are going to take place as the United States, the largest economy, is going to be replaced by others, and actually I think is going to collapse. How is this going to affect most of us and most of the world, and what we can do about it, and what we can do to prepare ourselves not to be dead, and certainly not to have a disastrous life over the next decade. So the question about Hungary is that you may have seen my videos about Czech Republic, about Romania, and other countries of Central Europe. Well, definitely Hungary has some good assets. Well, first asset, and that was the problem with the girls here, is the language. Hungarian has a very different Finno-Ungaric language, which has protected her from foreigners, from invasion, from occupation, because it's very hard to know what people are saying and thinking. So language is an asset, and you know it's not a very common asset across the world, but definitely it helps keeps the population homogeneous, because language is a vector of culture, and that means that Hungary has a very homogeneous culture because of that language, but also because of the ethnic uniformity of the country. Although, of course, genetically, a lot of Hungarians have ancestors from all over the place, from, of course, North and Central Europe, from even the Turkish parts and the invasion, and of course from also Asia, from the Middle Age invasions of the Mongol across Eastern Europe. Now that doesn't matter, because culturally the culture is very homogeneous, so that gives you strength, that gives a sense of belonging that is very, very important when economy collapses. Also, of course, Hungary, and while it was one of the richest countries of the Eastern Bloc during the Cold War, Hungary still, remembers how it was hard during those times, and how it was day-to-day life was necessitating for people to really look after every detail, and not be spoiled. And I think that is still, of course, in the young generation, this doesn't happen anymore. But the older generations still remember and still know that life can be pretty harsh and pretty hard, and that experience is an asset, of course, when things are going to be worse. Now, how are things going to be worse specifically in Hungary? Well, for the generality, you can read my book, but certainly for the specifics, well, you have one of the problems of Hungary is that, of course, it is successful today. It has factories for a lot of German, Italian, and other European countries' production and industry manufacturing. So when the whole economy is collapsed, all these manufacturing will be less needed. So while it has jobs, at least for a while, in the end it will also not have them anymore. So there will be another crisis. It might be delayed, It will happen maybe a few years after the ones in France, in England, and perhaps to some extent even in Germany. But certainly it will be happening. Also, the debt situation of Hungary is also as crucial as anywhere else. The government and the people have all, since the end of the Cold War, gone into the trend and fashion of indebting, and that debt has of course helped to create infrastructure and consumption, but eventually that debt will cause big problems. And we have seen already politically a lot of changes in the way the Hungarian political structure has moved decisively to the right on economic issues. And at least here there is no really immigration problems to speak of like there would be in England, in France, or Germany, or Italy, or Spain, or Switzerland, or Sweden. Here, even without that problem, the country has moved decisively to the right. So it's a very interesting development. Now, how to prepare if you live in Hungary? Of course, you have a great tradition of food, great tradition of family, great tradition of the social bonds social links that bond people together. You will have to be careful because there will be violence, there will be scarcity of food, of everything you need to live. So you need to prepare a bit now, and you need to strive to look at this autonomy, as I explain in my book, how you can be sustainable, how you can be autonomous as much as possible in terms of course, food, water, health, skills, defense, and the social bonds with people, so that you can create a life that is sustainable. And today's life, and even in Hungary, especially again in young people, it is like everywhere else. You rely on just-in-time supply flows to fill the shops, the pharmacies, the hospitals. You rely on consumption for the economy to grow. People like the gadgets, the iPhones, the whatever is the fashionable item right now. And of course, this is not sustainable. So really be warned about how you can make it, how you can change your life little by little to be sustainable and to be as autonomous as possible. And of course, this is the countries that have the potential to succeed as a whole. I mean, I don't believe that France or England or the UK can manage it. It's too late. It's lost. However, here you still have, like in Switzerland, like in Norway, like in some other countries, maybe Italy to some extent, you can manage to convince the politicians to change the whole structure of the country and to focus on autonomy, to focus on self-sufficiency, because this is what is going to be needed. And this is something that you have to really think about. But of course, first start as an individual. So I give you all the information in my books, Survive the Economic Collapse, and hopefully they will be translated and published in Hungarian one day, so I hope that. And certainly I encourage you, if you live in Hungary, if you are Hungarian, or if you're a foreigner living in Hungary, to really create these strong bonds, to feel accepted within communities, within your neighborhood, and really focus on what you can do in your life to make yourself self-sustainable and as autonomous as possible. You don't have to throw away whatever job you have, but you have to develop the skills and the attitude and the work that is required for the world of tomorrow, which is coming very, very fast. So anyway, from beautiful Budapest, I say to you farewell. Ciao!